Well, welcome back, everyone. We're here for the next session of our wonderful convention, New Visions. This is workshop A with Francine Thomas. And so I hope you've all got your toolboxes and your materials ready. And those of you who are just observing, you're very lucky because Francine's a hard taskmaster and she'll be making you do all sorts of things. I saw her earlier getting the drill set, so we know that we're in for a treat. Let me introduce you to Francine. Francine is a Floral Art Society of New Zealand teacher, judge, demonstrator, and lecturer. Flowers and floral art are Francine's passion. She's inspired by what she sees and feels in nature, and this is a big part of her designing. I'm sure that we will all be inspired by her skills today, just as we were inspired this morning by her demonstration. Please join me in welcoming Francine Thomas from New Zealand. Kia ora, Francine.
Kia ora to you too, Kim. Hello, everybody. It's lovely to be back again, and I thoroughly enjoyed the demonstrations this morning and this afternoon as well, and congratulations to all the winners. So, well, I'm not sure. I'm going to actually make a start now. So I've got here, I wanted you to get a piece of driftwood or a bit of branch, something. This is a nice piece of driftwood off the beach. And I love to use the timber. I love the natural form and the line that it creates, and this is a beautiful piece. I thought for this mechanic or this design, it would be better to do this one, doing it horizontal rather than vertical. It's easy for you to actually have a go at using a drill, as some haven't used the drill before. And so this is a piece of timber. So like I say, we can do different options with this. So once you've got your piece of timber, just put it aside for now until we've actually done the mechanics. So the mechanics, I thought I'd use just a piece of cardboard down on here, and I hope you can see that okay. What I possibly could do is actually bring the camera down onto the workbench so you can see me doing this. So I'll do that rather than seeing me, you'll see what I'm doing. Just makes it a little bit easier. Faye's had to go home, so I'm just doing this on my license. So now you can see, I'll have to talk with my hands. So we'll stop there for a minute and we'll give this a go. So in your little kits, you received some of the sisal lace paper. Actually, I might take that off. I've got a cardboard, I've got a piece of board here. Sisal lace paper. Now this is a lovely fibre. We can get the washi paper, which is done with rice fibre that comes in from Japan. This one is sisal, and it's a little bit thicker, but it's actually really lovely to work with. But this technique you can do with all kinds of things. You don't just have to use the papers, but I thought for what we're doing today, it would go best with that. So I've got my paper. The other thing that you received in your kit was the flat aluminium wire. This is a really nice one to use. I do lots of different things, but I thought this would be quite a neat little workshop. So you've got two colours, I think, some of you. So we've got the nice wire. You'll need your tube of cold glue, and you'll need your pair of pliers. So once we've actually worked out the what we're going to make first, we're going to get these so that it'll allow it to dry before we actually embed it into the branch. So just work out roughly what you're going to need lengthwise, and this is just a lot of experimenting as you go, really. Once you've had a go at doing one little one, then you can do a bigger one. So what I'm going to do here is I've just got my length of wire, and I'm going to just make a bend about there. Now a little bit of an overlap. So a little bit of an overlap here. Sneak your hand up and then just fold it over. Then you're going to get your pliers. You're going to pinch the end like this. And then you're going to open up. Now, I've done this with all sorts of different shapes, but I just thought because of the branch, I really wanted to make the leaf form. I thought that would look rather nice. But you can make circles, you can do all kinds of things. And then fold it back down, line it up again, and pinch it together, and then just push them open. Just open them up, just like that. Can you see that okay? So just opening it up, but it's still got a bit of a grip here. You've got to have a bit of a grip. And then we're going to do another one. So then again, we're going to take this piece of wire, this time folding it like this, bringing it down. Just going to do two leaves. Make this one slightly smaller. Again, now this time you're going to need to pinch with your pliers, pinch them all together there, so it's nice and tight. This doesn't look right, so what we need to do is we need to pull it together and pinch with your pliers, and then open up the petal. I just use my thumb for this just to get the shape. We're going to come down, we're going to end up with a shape like this. Then once you get to this piece here, we're going to turn this piece down, we're going to make the leg. So we've got that little piece there coming down, and to support that now, we're going to get a little piece of wire. It's a little bit of the flat aluminium, and you're going to wrap it around what you've just done here. Now it's best to do this before you actually start gluing the leaves on. Now you will need your pliers just to pinch it all together. Now can you all see that okay? That's what I want to know. Madhu, can everyone see okay? Pinching it all together. I get it where everybody can see. Oh, I'm pinching it there. Pinch that one together. Make sure there's no sharp edges sitting out. Now we've got like a little pick. And it's a really cool little pick that we can do. Now we're going to lay it over the top of the paper. We're going to line this up. Your pliers out of the way. I do it like this here. You can see your shape. You're going to line your paper up, or whatever you're using, but we're going to use the paper today. But remember, you can do this with anything. We're going to get our Oasis cold glue. Now you might choose, you may want to do circles. If you're going to do a circle, try and keep them uniform. I might use like a glass or something like that, or a bottle, where I can get all the shapes nice and symmetrical. You know, I'm not sort of just freehanding a circle. You can do that with the leaves, but circles and things like that you really need to do with a good solid shape to get a really nice round shape, because if it's not, it looks wonky. Don't want it to look wonky. So all I'm doing is just going with my cold glue right around one edge of the wire, and then I'm going to put that down here onto the table and to press that on there. While that one's drying, I might do one more. So I'll show you again, getting your wire. You can do threes, you can do singles, you can do whatever you feel comfortable with doing. Measure off some of the wire. Work out how you want to make the shape. Get pliers. Open it up. Make sure that you have a good overlap here. It's about 2 centimetres overlap. So it gets much easier when you go to put the binding wire over the top, when you want to put the little collar around to hold it. Again, we'll just do another one in here, pinching it together at the base. Bring this one up. Again, pulling it into the point. Always pinching at the end, make sure it's all nice and flat together, it makes it nice and uniform. Opening it up. Make sure you lay it on there with a good overlap again. I might be able to get a third one out of this one. I might be cheeky and try and do a third. I might just do a little one, maybe. Or maybe I'll just keep it simple. Okay, keep it simple, France. So, and then we'll bend the leg down. We've got the leg down. And we'll cut a little bit of that wire to the collar. You can bind this with other wires, but I like to keep it quite uniform as far as not adding too many different textures. You're getting the texture from your paper, and you will be from your plant material. So putting another wire over this to bind this just starts to get a bit messy. So I like to keep it all the same. Just make sure I've got that clamped around nice and tight. This again, so we've got our little shape made. See our shape down on here. So now again, go around with the cold glue. Right around just that one edge. If you struggle with the glue, you can make a little puddle of glue and just use a kebab stick or something like that to paint it on with. The secret with using cold glue is to allow at least 30 seconds for it to become air active. Some people don't realise it actually takes time for it to become air active, so it starts to go off. Otherwise, it's too wet and it won't stick. So give it a little bit of time, put the lid back on that. Lay this one down on here. Just cut around this here. Beautifully cut, fancy. Some of that paper to use that for something else later on. Always save the offcuts. Never throw the offcuts away because you'll use them for all kinds of things. So now what we're going to do is just carefully cut around our shape. And the glue has gone off nicely on this one. Yeah. So ending up with we have our paper on there all stuck on. Just get that. I'll just do the other one. Sit there. Might need to be a bit tidier, a little bit rough there, Francine. Around. I thought I'd show you how to do all of this first, and then we can go through, rather than doing a step by step and you're coming back, it's easy for me to show you. And then those that know what they're doing can just make a start, and those that need a little bit of extra help, no problem, just ask away. We can certainly help you with getting this all together. Once you've actually had a go, you'll realise it's actually not that hard, but it's just using your imagination. Now that we've got this like this, actually I need to bring the leg that way. What we're going to do is I'll use one that's dry, just the leg the other way, let's go underneath. So then you're going to manipulate it, and I always put my hand on the top here and my thumb underneath it, and I'm just going to manipulate it down to give it a bit of movement. Make it more three-dimensional. See how that's much better? So we're going to do that. Do the same with this one. Bending it down. So now we've got our picks. Now what we're going to do is put them to the side. Now I like to get all my mechanics done before I start putting it all together. So now you will also have received the preserved roses. So what I've done is I've made the little wire pick. And they all come in a little individual box, and there's a pin in underneath where you put your wire through. So we'll get one of these out. And I've got here 22 gauge wires, what I like to use. Now I'm going to come over here and just show you how to do this a bit closer. So this is the rose, and you'll see here, this is where the little pins come through that hold it into the box. Can you see? I don't know if you can see that. There's like a little pinhole. You put your wire through that hole to support the stem, slide it through, fold it down to the neck and pinch it tight to the neck like this. And you can, if you want to, you can do another wire, you can do two. If you really want extra strength, there's actually a place that you can actually do two crossing wires. So, and then you can cross these ones and bring them down, pinch at the neck. And that's going to hold like a proper little pick. You would have also received your tape. Now, I like to use the stem tips. I think you might have the Parafilm one. That's okay. And just like your normal flowers, starting right up the top here, coming around the top of the wires, nice and high. And then you're just going to twist the rose, just like you would normally do with your wiring and taping. And I always do this on an angle and then pull it down as you're working and spin it. And now we've got our rose pick done. Now, the other thing that we're going to do with these roses is we're going to open them. So they're very pliable. So just folding this back, the petals back onto your thumb, and we're going to open it up because we need this for the size. We want volume. So just going to carefully open them up, just pull them back just like this. And opening it up, and now you've ended up with a much bigger form. So I'm going to put this back over here. I've got my roses set up here, one, done, two, and I'll do a third. Always keep the boxes, so when you're not using them, pop them back in the boxes and pull the wire through the bottom and lay them all over, and then you can reuse them over and over again. There, a couple more bits of wire. So in through that one, in through there, pinch to the neck so the wire's tight to the neck. Grab another piece of wire. I do like to cross them a little bit stronger. Push that one in through there, pinch to the neck, grab your tape. Go up nice and high like you would normally do when you're wiring. And then just, it's better to spin the flower and pull the tape down. The heat from your hands with the wax will melt it. If you're using the plastic parafilm, the same thing, the heat from your hand will melt it. And then you can just carefully open that little rose up as well. You know, we need these open for what we're doing. So make sure you have those ready. Okay, so now once you've got those done, we've got our roses prepped. We have got our little picks done. Have those done. I've got a few more over here that I've done earlier. And then I'll come to the pods in a minute. Okay, so now we're going to bring our branch over. And you're going to have a look at what you've made. So you can make a series of these and just work out how you actually want them to sit on the branch. Now, because I'm wanting these ones to come across, I'm going to put them together and I'm going to offset them. So some are going one way, some are going another way. Make sure I'm happy with that. And I'm going to work out, now I've got here a drill, and in here I've put the 2mm drill bit. So I'll just reverse that out. So this is a 2mm one, but I've also got here a 4mm one, depending, because this flat aluminium wire is actually 5mm wide. But if you scrunch it up, you'll get it down to a 4mm. So if you haven't got one, just use your 2mm, tighten the chuck up, make sure it's in low gear, work out roughly where you want them to sit, and then just drill into it. Bring the drill in and out as you're doing it. And also, when you're doing this, you can move the drill around very carefully to make the hole slightly bigger if you need to. So I might put another one out through here. Just go nice and slow. Once you're confident, you can actually put this up into a second gear, and that goes a lot quicker. And then you can open the hole up a little bit more. I need to open the hole up to the wire in. And then work that out. So I want a couple there maybe, and then I may put another one down in here. And then I'll put another one possibly down here. Okay, but once you've got the holes drilled and you're happy with where they go, just put the excess bits of sawdust out of the way. Now we're going to get our pieces of our framework. So we're going to layer them, stacking them all on top of each other. I want to put 3 in here, I think, or we'll do 2 to start with. And just line them up. Make sure you're happy on that's a little bit high, so I'll just cut that one down. Put them and line them up into the hole. Just put them in the hole. And then we're going to have them where they're coming over. Put another one in if you want to fit another one. If you want to make another hole slightly bigger, you can. Put that one in through there. This one need to have a bit of a fiddle. This one here, I want them all to join up so that the stems are all together. So when you do that, again, you'll need to get a little piece of your wire and make another little collar. So just getting you a little piece of wire. It's like wrapping them all up, really. Wrapping them around here. Wrapping them up. Get your pliers to really scrunch them together. And you can move them around, take this over, and now you can play with the way that you would like them to come. I would like that to come over the branch a little bit, maybe one coming out through the back, some coming over. I've got a little one here that I might put down here just to take my eye right over the whole design. If that hole's big enough, should go in there. Take that one over. It might not be big enough. Might just take this little bit out. So if you have got it, then you can get a slightly bigger drill, but make sure you do. It might be a bit easier actually. Okay, that one there. So keep the drill handy. Put this one in through here. Bringing it over your piece of timber. Make sure you're happy with the way that's going. These ones here, I might just put this one up in here. Bring that one over. They don't all have to join, but these 3, I wanted them to join together up here. This is a slightly different coloured wire. I thought I'd bring the 2 colours in. Put another one in here. Just again, drill another little hole. Okay, and you can bring that over. Might pull this one back a little bit. So you're ending up with a neat little design sort of elevated up in through here. I just want to, not very happy with that piece of wire sticking out, so I just want to scrunch it up a little bit tighter. It's better. Now we're going to get these roses that we've got here, and we're going to just put them down in here, and they should be able to just sit. If you leave them with a little bit of length, they should be able to just sit into the timber, coming across. This one here, I might just cut it a little bit shorter. Should be using my wire cutters. And then you can, because these have been wired, you can just bend it to the way you would like it to go. This little one here I thought would look really nice and underneath, rather than on the top. Using my wire cutters. If you haven't got a few of these little mini bolt cutters from Destin, and they're great. Open this one up. I might just slip a little hole in there. I could just put that one down in through there. Or I could actually even bring it in underneath here. I want to bring it in here. Just have to play with how you want it to sit. Sit in under there. No, don't like it there. Have a fiddle. Put the two together. That looks a little bit better. Bringing those through. And then you've got a little few of your pods that we've got as well. So now I don't have any eucalyptus. I've got a eucalyptus tree and I probably need to leave it alone, let it grow, but I keep pruning it. So I'm using some liquid amber pods here. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the cold glue. And I just thought to bring the colour of the timber up, we really need to bring that up. So I thought we'd just put a couple of these little pods, adding another little bit of a texture. Just up and through here, just with pods. Should stay there, maybe not. Probably should have used a hot glue gun, but that's okay. But I don't really want to use that today. Put those, just sit them in there like that. Another one down here. This one here can just sit down onto the timber. And through there. That in there. And I should heed my own advice and say, wait till the glue has gone tacky, and I haven't. So I'll just make a little puddle of it here and let it go a little bit tacky. Might drill it out of the way. But the idea with this is that you can do so many different things with this here, so many other concepts as well, with using the leaves and the foliage and just using the branch. When that's dry, I'll lift it up and show you. It's not quite dry enough yet. Just need to make sure everything's dry before you go moving it. Happy with that? Maybe just bring a little bit of a little baby one here. I might just pop this one down the end. So I've got that little bit of unity coming through. Pop that one underneath there. And then you've also got a little bit of, I asked you to also have some gum leaves. If you feel you want to put a bit of gum on here, you can put a piece of gum. I'm actually not going to. I rather like it just clean like that. But you've also got some gum there. You can put a piece of gum over the top or a few leaves if you wanted to put a few leaves in. Put a few little gum leaves out through this way as well if you wanted just to tuck a few in. But sometimes I think less is more with what we're trying to do here. And I don't really think I need them on this design. And the other option, we also put in a few little pieces of grass that if you wanted to link it as well, we've got just a few little bits of grass. I've just got some oi here again that I thought we could use as well if we decided we wanted to. We'll just see if I can get that one to just sit in here, that and through there. Let's do one piece at a time. It's a little bit dry. That in through there. Bring your grass in through. Did I have a little hole in there? I think I did. So you can bring a little bit of grass through as well if you just want to bring a little bit over. Not a lot. I didn't want you to have too much away from the design. But again, you may be like me and just want to leave it nice and clean without this. It's entirely up to you. So that is going to be our little workshop. It's really just teaching the technique of how to make these little leaves and petals. And I've made a lot of different types of things with this design, and I've done circles and squares, so you may want to be a little bit adventurous and have a go at doing some with circles, but the petals always go with everything, and that's just showing that little concept. So What do you think? You ready to have a go and get stuck into this? You can see you've got your placement here with your petals coming through, and there's 2 roses here, balanced by another one out there for colour balance and textural balance. And it's just showing a little easy concept, but then you can see this being mounted up. You know, it's got lots of options. So that's the workshop, everybody. So I can't wait to see what you all come up with. This is the best part for me of being a teacher, seeing what everybody, how you interpret that design.
It's been a long day for Francine. She started the day, she's finishing the day.
On behalf of the New South Wales Floral Art Association, we just extend so many thanks to you. We just, as I say, we can't thank you enough for your expertise, your techniques, your fun ways. We love your fun ways. We love your personality. And it's just so great that, you know, the hard times that we've been through the last, 18 months or so, it's just so lovely to sit in a lounge room amongst, wonderful friends. We've all got the same interests, floral art. And we've got we really want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts that you've been able to teach us this wonderful technique this afternoon. I saw you actually do this technique, I don't know whether it was this year or last year, on one of your little workshops. And, it's great that I've learned how to do it today amongst all these other ladies and gents. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, it's been totally my pleasure, everybody, and it's been just so lovely to see you all, and thank you for inviting me to be a part of it. Yeah.